you don't go up into the Apple Rock clearing where the Apple Rock is between the hours of 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. And if you do have to go up into Apple Rock clearing between 1 and 5 a.m., well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Holy smokes, it's supposed to get really super hot today, about 100 in this area. I've got my window open to have a fan in it. I'm not sure if I want to do that, but then I'm not sure how heat dynamics works. I know that it gets hotter outside than it is in here, so having my window open isn't good because the heat gets in, but if I shut the window more, wouldn't that trap the heat in here? But I'm not going to be trapping the heat in here. There's no place for it to escape to, even with the window open. So I don't know to have the window open with the fan in the window, or to shut it with just this much open and have the fan blowing some air out. I have no ideas, and so it's going to be blistering. And of course, front loading of videos. I got lost. That was rough. If you like what you see in here, if you could hit the like button, that'd be very cool. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't, if you like what you hear and see, that'd be very cool. If you can leave me a comment, that would be super awesome. And I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people are literally beautiful and awesome. Without their help, I would not be able to stay alive, nor would my pets be able to stay alive. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you all so very, very much. If you would like to become a patron and help me out and keep me alive, that would be very cool. Links are in the video show more, video description, sort of text the box. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a PayPal link you could send some cash to. And if you'd like to help me out without even tossing me any cash, there's an Amazon wishlist link with cat food on it. Front loading a video is over. Of course, you don't have to help me out in any way, shape, or form. It would be appreciated, but I couldn't force even if I wanted to. Front loading a video over. Yay! Yeah, so it's supposed to be really hot today. Oh joy! My computer needs to have the dust blown out of it, not the air blown out of it. It needs to have the dust blown out of it. I believe. Normally, I'll get temps of like 45 to 50 as the thermal margin, meaning I've got 40 or 50 degrees centigrade, Celsius, to go before it gets too hot. It usually runs around 30 to 40 now, which means there's dust on this stuff. But when it gets hot, it's right around 20. And that's, ooh, I don't like that. So I need to blow the dust out of it so it can cool down as best it can in this heat. But because the owners of the rental home were going to come walking through, I put a bunch of stuff into a thing, and now I don't know where my screwdrivers are, so I've got to dig through stuff, and it's become a huge hassle. Yay! So I got to get that done. Past that, it is just a day where I'm worried about the heat, worried about my own reaction to the heat, and life is life. You got to do what you got to do. Past that, yesterday, I did have some falling asleep trouble for about an hour. I was just out in my chair, wake up, turn the video on, try to stay awake, and then wake up in a bit again, going, I didn't watch that, turn it back up. Oh no. And then being able to shake it off and then be okay. But ugh, for that time, it's just terrible. Yay. It comes from insomnia. There were times when my wife was alive that I would just be standing and talking to her and my various children, and I would fall asleep and just wham, fall to the ground. After she had passed, I was walking through my house before it got repossessed, and in mid-step I went wham, fell asleep and hit the ground. It was rough. I'm a lot better now, thank goodness, but I still can't sleep more than like 5 or 6 hours in a shot, and that's because I just hurt because I don't move. Yay. Past that, still doing walkies. I don't know if I'm really going to do walkies tonight. It's going to depend on the heat. It was rough the first part of the night, and that was with the wind blowing, so it was cooler. So I don't know. I can't go, early morning time. It's going to start getting warmer really soon. So by 10 o'clock, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my window, and it's 8 o'clock now. I'm not going to go out into the sunlight in the heat of the early or middle or even late when it's the worst afternoon, the worst on the heat and such. I was going outside at like 2 o'clock yesterday, and the heat and the sun were like a physical force. It was horrific, and it's going to be worse today. So, yay. Life is life, though. Life is life. So I may go walkies, I may not, all because of the heat, but we shall see. Past that, all I did was survive. I played video games, I listened to music, I tried to be as creative as I could while walking. I wasn't able to hyper-focus on any one thing. Instead, it was bouncing around various subjects of the greater project that I'm doing, but not of any one particular thing. So I'll talk about things like that, but first I want to talk about some other things, recent events, but not actual recent events. Recent events in that I watched a video this morning about bunnies. I watch a lot of bunny channels, like I said. I don't watch the entire video. Mostly they're in languages I do not speak or understand. But I like to watch the bunnies being bunnies in these videos, and they're very, very cute. And one of them that has English subtitles was showing this person sitting, and the rabbit was just running around them, round and round and round. Not fast, but just hop, 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 hop. And even when they stood up and were walking, the bunny was circling them. And they looked it up and were letting everyone else know that is a sign of love/affection with the desire to interact with those that they have affection for. So if your bunny will start circling you and just round and round and round, it's just letting you know. I mean, it's not a specific bunny to person thing. No, it's just that's what they do in the wild. They circle round and round. So thumbs up on that. Very, very cool. I haven't seen, excuse me, I haven't seen any bunnies or such, or even animals at all when I've been going walkies of late, because I used to walk around town. I walked around town until I was walking up to Walmart, but then that started to stress out the nerves in my back, so that when I got back from my walk, I couldn't even sit in my chair. I had to go to bed. So I was walking around town, and that did my back better. And then I started, because I got a gift card, walking back up to Walmart again, and now I'm just walking to Walmart. So my back is doing okay, and that's good, but that means I don't walk around too many forest blocks like I do when I walk around town. Southern Shelton is hilly and mountainous, and there are trees everywhere, and a lot of the population area here in Southern Shelton is tree blocks, where they're just one block or several blocks where it's just a forest. And so you have animals and critters and bugs and trees and all sorts of things. And, there'll be a house, or if it's larger, it's house, all spread out. But you're abutted up against these forest blocks. When you get into downtown Shelton, which is lower in a valley, they don't really have that. There are some trees and they're around here and there, but there's not as many. And then when you get up onto northern Shelton, which you go southern Shelton into the valley to downtown and then up onto this plateau that is the rest of out there, which is weird to think about. Most of the upper part of Shelton is here and downtown Shelton is here. So that's kind of bizarre. It is in a valley. But it is more of a plains. There are trees, but they're not in great forested areas. I mean, trees will always come in forested areas. They make the forest after all, but they're not huge, and they're not really heavy like they are down here in southern Shelton. So there's not really a lot of animals that to look at and walk around, aside from bugs. Which, on a real quick thing, boy do I hate the flying insect types. Of late, we have crane flies that are flying around. They don't hurt people, but I don't know how these bugs do it. I don't like them. I don't like them banging against me. But when I'm sitting in here, there's a whole room. This is not a big room, but it's what you see here is like there's another half of the room over there. Those crane fly bugs will be constantly bouncing off me. They won't be bouncing off the walls, they'll be bouncing off me. If I'm in here with a crane fly and I'm in here with it for 10 minutes, 9 of those minutes are going to be with the crane fly bouncing off of some part of my body. A whole room here, they don't like people, but they're just bouncing off me, and I hate that. Especially when, and I don't know again how they do this one, there was a crane fly that was just flying by and I swung my hand. Huge air currents when you do that. And it started going like this and went straight for my face after the swing. So I swung it in again. Huge air currents. Changed its course again, right for my eye. I don't know how or why when I swing at a bug that doesn't prey on humans, they always zero in, no matter if they're over here or here or here or here. I swing at a bug, it's going to go for my face. So that's joyous. Oh, and my housemate's outside hacking and yakking. Thumbs up for that. So I love bugs. Past that, though, let me take a look here and see what I have. I've talked about this one before, but I'm going to talk about it again. You may think to yourself, why would people live in Apple Rock if there is this giant kaiju that every 5 years goes rampaging through the town and eats a couple thousand people? Why would people live there? Wouldn't they move away? But it's remember, we have our own Apple Rocks here on Earth, and people stay there. I mean, what was that, 1,000 years ago when Vesuvius erupted and took out Pompeii? That was Apple Rock. Everyone still lived there until it rampaged and killed the whole town. I was talking with someone just a year or some ago, maybe 2 years, I can't remember this horrible time sense. They just could not understand how, it was this through comments, but they could not understand how or why that people would stay in Apple Rock when it's so dangerous. And as it turns out, that they live in the Canary Islands, specifically on one of the islands where the volcano is, while the volcano was erupting and their parents' house was being threatened by magma. He was living in Apple Rock, asking me why people would live in Apple Rock, and he doesn't think that that would be very, realistic. You live in Apple Rock. You've got a volcano there that is rampaging through the town. Why are you asking me why people would live there? But people live in Apple Rock for lots of reasons. Number one, if you're born someplace, generally that's what you're used to. Like the person there with the magma that's threatening their parents' house. It's something that you deal with. It's normalized. And of course, the people of Apple Rock have it worse because they're having to breathe in this gas that breaks down into metabolites that hits all the serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin and prolactin, and all sorts of chemicals in your head that make you just bond with other people in the area that you're in. So you love Apple Rock. You're gonna just hunker down with everybody and rebuild that city. Every one of these people around you is your family. And if you leave, you don't get the gas in your body anymore. And now your body doesn't make serotonin except for survival mode and on all of these, or dopamine, or prolactin, or oxytocin. And outside of Apple Rock, everybody's just cold and indifferent. It's a hard world. And nobody is like community as they are here in Apple Rock. Because when you're in Apple Rock and you got those compounds in you, oh boy, everyone is your family. These people don't stand a chance. And again, there's no reason for anybody to even suspect that they are being gassed And even if you were, who would you talk to? No overarching authority, so there's no great amount of people gathering data. There's just the people in Apple Rock that care. And they don't care because they're drugged. So things like that are rough. And again, still, because of all of these things, whenever the Kaiju goes rampaging, everyone just pulls together. One of the things I've mentioned about the whole Kaiju is everybody there fully believes and is behind the idea of you don't go up into the Apple Rock clearing where the Apple Rock is between the hours of 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. And if you do have to go up into Apple Rock clearing between 1 and 5 a.m., you do not go up there with an open wound. And if you do have to go up onto Apple Rock clearing between 1 and 5 a.m. and you have an open wound, just make sure it's not bleeding. And if you do have to go to Apple Rock clearing between 1 and 5 a.m. and you do have an open wound and it's bleeding, just please don't bleed on Apple Rock. You still have people that will go up there just out of idle curiosity and go, I wonder if it actually will start rampaging, and then rub a wound and get some blood on it between 1 and 5 a.m. Yes, the Kaiju will not rampage on the days that it rampages until somebody bleeds on it between 1 and 5 a.m. But this is the Kaiju screwing with people's heads. It doesn't require that at all. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, we have Brandon Taylor, thumbs up and thank you. JAYY, it was a pretty good day. Good to see you in the comments. And Jesse Koskinen, it would be nice to see Morrowind on the Switch, wouldn't it? And good to see you in the comments, my friend. We have Loco5, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. Good to see you in the comments as well. We have Adrian, oh my gosh, that Morrowind. I'm getting rid of all cliff racers with a mod. I tell you, hokey smokes. But good to see you in the comments. And the Horror Files, thumbs up and thank you. Good to see you in the comments as well, my friend. And then I scroll down and we have some random guy, thumbs up and thank you very much. There is Chris Browning, who left me some good, not advice, but a tip for how to cheese jumping in Morrowind. Thank you very, very much. There's Javier Escuella. I'm guessing it's that. Boy, I bet I've slaughtered it, but thank you for the comment. Ben B, good to see you in the comments. We have, that's it, 10 people, 10 different people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciate it. Get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only in text, and if only for a short time. But it is appreciated very, very much. I am very awkward socially and very withdrawn. I've never really liked being around people. I started withdrawing when I was very, very young. I am alone, but not lonely. I am separate, but not isolated. I spend 90% of my time in this room, and I don't really like being around other people. Thank you very, very much. I do need to be around human artifacts, and I do need to interact with people in some fashion. Thank you. It is appreciated to no end. Well, it's a weekend, so I'm not going to worry about anything except trying not to die from the heat. There's nothing I can get done, even though it looks like I'm going to be getting a primary doctor in Shelton through the Veterans Administration. Definitely a thumbs up on that. And otherwise, the covfefe bug is still an issue all around the world. I'm still seeing people online, all the YouTubers that I've subscribed to going, yeah, I caught it. Why aren't you taking precautions? I mean, you can only do what you can do. I'm vaxxed, I'm boosted, I wear my mask around people, I socially isolate. which is no foul for me. But try to be smart for your area. Don't throw your body onto the end-of-life corpse pile before you have to. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.